Welcome to Sesame's Warehouse Solution. In this video, we'll take you on a tour of a powerful application designed to simplify data movement across the cloud, databases, or flat file locations. This warehouse solution provides an intuitive interface that makes it easy to manage your data integration task. Let's dive into key features that'll help you get started. Here's your main dashboard. From the central hub, you can access all of Sesame Software's functionality. Let's start with the main components. First is the data source selection. This is where you can configure and manage connections to various data sources like cloud storage, databases, and flat files. Simply click New Data Source, choose the template that you need to operate off of, fill in a label. We're going to start with Salesforce, and fill in the required fields. Each of the required fields will have a red asterisk beside the field's label. Recently viewed data sources will show in the Data Source menu at the bottom. You can click Data Source List to see all of your available data sources. Each has an available description box that you can label to make it easy to track your sources that you've configured. After you have your source data source and target data source, we'll marry those up in a config file. In basic mode, all you need is the data source, target location, and metadata location filled out. Then you can save that, and you're ready to move on to jobs. For expert menu options, see the available training later on. To set up a new job, click on the Jobs tab, and then New Job. Give your job a label, and click Save. Each job will have its own schedule ID. We're going to start with 100. You can also configure email notifications for this job. To use the global email settings, click on Setup and fill out your SMTP server information in the Configuration Notifications section. Give a label to the subject of your emails. On error, we'll send a notification if my initial download job has any errors. Always will share a notification when the job errors or has a completed status. Now click on Job Steps. Job steps are the data pipeline movements that you want this particular job to perform. Your options for the warehouse will show you all of your warehouse configs. If you're using our real-time message web server, you'll have the warehouse RTO option to narrow the options presented to a specific config file. Select your config file, and I'm going to use the demo that we set up in our warehouse configs earlier, and click Add New. As you can see, it's already populated our step type and step config. We're going to give this a label for Get Global. This will download all the objects that we've listed in the demo config file or the object lists available to the demo config source data source user. After we filled out our command, we're going to check the Add to Current Steps button and click Save. It's moved the job step over, and now our job is configured. To add multiple job steps, we'll create another, add new, and build our referential pick list. This populates a table in the database with all of the current global pick list values from Salesforce. Let's go ahead and click Save. Finally, we're going to add indexes to the database. We'll go ahead and save our job setup. Now, whenever we run our initial download job with job ID of 100, it's going to run a get global, a get reference global, and get index global commands. For more details about each of these commands, click on the user manual and look up the download or utility command sections. When you're viewing your UI for the first time and you haven't run a job before, your start and end date are going to be when you created your job. You're going to see just the play button and a green status notification for a successfully created job. We're going to go ahead and hit the play button. You can see that the green button changes to a running man. That's the icon for a currently running job. To stop the job, you'll hit the red square, and you'll have a confirmation window. Or you can click the View Runtime Logs. This will bring up the logs for the currently running job. So when the job's finished, you can download the current logs or the most recently run logs as a zip file. If you have a question for support, we recommend using this option to send us both sets of logs for the job, and that'll give us the details we need to help answer some questions.